Welcome to the 1990 series. My name's Amanda O'Shea, the Loving Life Coach from the Serendipity Experience, and I have great pleasure in introducing today the lovely David Saunders from Brighton. Welcome, David.
Thank you. Thank you for letting me be a part of this amazing series.
Oh, it's great. I'm really delighted that you were able to be a part of it too. We just had a quick chat there before we came on, and I was saying that, you know, I first saw you when you did this wonderful talk, in the London conference, the Three Principles conference, and you were there as part of the Beyond Recovery team, and you were sharing your story, which blew everybody away, right? You know, it was incredible. Like 1,000 people in the room, right? That you blew away. So that was the first time that you know, I'd heard your story or knew anything about you. And then seeing you then, seeing a few bits of what you've been up to, and I like to follow what Beyond Recovery are up to. And for anybody who's not familiar with Beyond Recovery, please go and check them out. It's an amazing program that they've got going on in 3 of the prisons now. Is that right, David?
It's 2, down to 2 at the moment.
Down to 2. Okay, so Onley still? Is it in?
Yes, and Onley and
Nottingham, or is it?
Nottingham. Yeah, sorry, I just went blank.
Okay.
Yeah, Nottingham.
Yeah. Nottingham and Onley. So there's amazing sharing. What we share, the principles behind our human experience, are being shared in 2 of the prisons at the moment, and that's where you heard it, right, David?
Yeah, it was in with Liliana and Anna Debenham.
Fantastic.
And Jacqueline. Yeah.
Yeah. So are you happy just to share a little bit about how that was for you and what that means now for you?
I had PTSD for 7 years with my baby dying and all that, so I relived that for 7 years. Then I had treatment thanks to a prison officer that had not this understanding, but she was in the forces, so she knew about PTSD. My story never changed, so I think 9 times I went through all the services saying the same story and I was never heard. I had all these different labels and reactive depression, clinically depressed, and literally the whole list went up and down, and every time I got a new one, but it was never right. Then the prison officer actually heard what I said, and she said it sounds like PTSD, and explained it. And within 2 weeks, I had treatment for it. But after 7 years, I go to sleep at night. That had I still had the rest of this effects from it and a lot of the issues. So the next 5 years, my life was pretty much hell. It was literally a living hell. Then I come across this understanding. Well, the first group.
So in prison, is it?
Yeah, in prison. Yeah, in prison. Yeah, it's just literally so much negative has happened in that 5 years. It was just, yeah, I wasn't in a good place at all. And I went onto the group, and I just sat there, and I just couldn't accept that someone could be happy like they were there sitting there smiling, and it was like it just didn't make sense to me. It's like, how can someone be happy? I was quite offended by it, like really wound myself up over it. Like I was sitting there thinking, I'm going to drop that guy in a minute. Because in prison, everything's fake. Like no one's real. Everyone's trying to get something out of you, manipulate you in one way or another, and you always have to have your guard up. So you just everything. I just thought the negative, worse than any situation. And I thought, yeah, this weren't for me, to be fair. Then it was literally the second week that I went back was to do a drug deal to give someone some drugs. It was literally that is the only reason I went back. I didn't want to sit there with them. That was taking time away from me getting high. Yeah. That was my favourite thing to do. Yeah, so the second session, why is Beyond Recovery so different? In prison, you're being taught, you got homework and all that sort of stuff, you're there to learn. And one of the first things they say is, if we say bring it back into the room, it's nothing personal, which was gone off topic, but leave your ego at the door, and anything you think you know, and just be open to learning. And you can always pick it up on the way out. So that's a bit of a shock. Really, like, hold on, we haven't got to learn nothing. There's no homework. They're not standing up. Everyone's sitting down having a conversation. You know, otherwise, any other group you do, they're all standing up and looking down on you, and it's just, I don't know, it's not what we do, is it? But it's
different, right?
it's totally different. It's just like, it's not I've been a naughty school kid, isn't it? Looking up at the teacher all the time.
And I love that. Like, I love sharing just in a circle. I like to be part of the circle. I don't want to be there's no one at the front of the room. You know, there's just someone in the circle. There's someone, you know, we're all the same, no matter where we are or what we're up to. Or, you know, I love that. I love that. So you felt what? You felt comfortable, or you felt the love?
Not that's it. I just felt unease. I don't know. I was on a lot of drugs. Then I don't know. It just felt fake. But Anna Debenham, I was doing what we call the River of Thought, explaining how we have between like tens of thousands of thoughts, or between 1,600 and 20,000 thoughts a day. They just flow through our head like a river, don't they? And then basically, our thoughts neutral. She's explaining this to us. I was talking to the bloke next to me that I'd done the drug deal, but I was half listening to what she was saying, just to make sure it wasn't so much to what she was saying. It's just to make sure they weren't coming because I was doing something wrong. But I said something to him, and Liliana said, "Bring it back into the room." I've looked to him, toward Lily, and it's like, "What? Who are you talking to? You just make me look stupid." And I just started slacking them thoughts.
Right.
Like, until I was sitting there, and I don't know if I was, but in my head, like I felt like I was shaking. I was so angry, and it's like all these like horrible thoughts, and it's like I looked from Lily to Anna, and my life just changed.
Wow.
I just see into how I've been living in my negative reality, like my past, and
Wow.
like 20 years of just nothingness, this second voice that questioned every situation, like everything that's going on, like just fell away.
So you heard that, David? Like, they were talking about your thinking, and in that moment, you watched your thinking playing out. Is that what happened?
I caught it.
Yeah.
I didn't hear it. I see it,
It's
and
amazing.
that's the thing, and it's the seeing, isn't it?
It is, and it is the seeing it, the catching it, like, and that I can imagine that you're so used to that attitude of like, who, no one puts me down, or don't put me down, or embarrass me, or whatever it might be, and then, you know, we catch it, and you would have gone to your habitual thought pattern, which is like, who do they think they are, you know? And I'm imagining that even when you said that, you knew that they were all right. So you knew they weren't digging you out or putting you down, or
No.
you knew that at some level, right?
Yeah, but that's my insecurity. But I didn't know I was insecure, and that's what this understanding does. It's just not. It's just showing me insecurity and ego. They're exactly the same. They're the same, two sides of the same coin, aren't they? But that's why when that was on the Thursday morning, so that was within the 4th hour of this having been on group. Yeah, not long. Really, when you think about it, then that was on the Thursday morning, and Anna read a bit about the missing link. And just as I was walking out the way, I suppose I didn't want to leave the room, so I just said to, now I'm thinking about it. So I don't even know why I actually said to her, and I said, "What was that book?" And she said, "The Missing Link," and she gave me a copy, a book, and went back to my cell. And yeah, for the next couple of days, I was just high. Like, I was still using drugs, but it was still like high, and I was just trying to, just preaching about beyond recovery. Something had happened. I just didn't know what. I couldn't put into words. And the Saturday morning, woke up and I picked up the missing link, and I just started reading, but seeing, like reading, but like deep reading, like listening. It's like it's hard to explain that I just couldn't go past the sentence until I actually see it and had the understanding and the feel for it. It was like my eyes just wouldn't go past.
Yeah.
So that's when I say that I got answers to all these questions I didn't know I was looking for. Like, hear people talk about their like one big insight. For me, over that period of time, I just had all these insights, but I didn't know how to word them or
Yeah, express them.
or express them or understand them. So it was like, as well with the fairies, literally, it's like I used to get frustrated and, how can you not see this? What's wrong with you? It's so simple, and it's just,
But to the
yeah,
others, I mean, to the other.
yeah, to anyone that listened, that was the thing. They just
It
didn't
broke
shut up about it.
and
But yeah,
it's like that, isn't it? Like when people see it like that for the first time, it's like that born again Christian type of. It's like you can't believe it. You want everyone else to be on your buzz. It's like a different drug, you know. It's you want everyone to be on the same buzz that you're on.
well, that's how I explain it. The easiest way for me to explain it is my finding God. The missing link is my Bible. That's the easiest way to put into words, really.
Mm-hmm. And is that scary for some people? When you started talking about this stuff, do you think some people thought you'd lost the plot, or did you think that
Probably. I thought I lost the plot. Well, I did. The bad part.
Exactly. My mum and dad thought, I think they were, that they thought I was in some sort of a cult or some sort of like, because it's suddenly there's this my dad's was like, have you swallowed a dictionary? Like, where's all these words coming from? And there's something so lovely when you see that, because you're now sharing this, right? And you isn't it beautiful when you watch somebody else kind of, have a teeny little insight into it?
Well, that's the thing. That's what I'm saying. Like, I've experienced real joy, real happiness, real love, and like contentment, and that's why, like, I really into drugs. Like MDMA and ecstasy was my drug of choice, because that loved up feeling that I thought come from the drugs, that connection, all the things that we experience naturally that are meant to be in life, I used to get from ecstasy. Well, I used to think that was. Yeah, once I had this understanding, I ended up doing some in prison. And I was really hard. I was dancing around my cell and having a real good night. But I thought, like, I was up here, but I thought, this is not right, because I've been up here before. And I really see it's not the drug. The drug just opens up what's inside you. And I realised that was artificial. So it was like my buzz went from up there, it went right down, because I had the chemicals in my system still. But because I actually thought about it, and I really see that it's fake, isn't it? The drug high is real fake.
Yeah. So, and it's so true, any mind altering substance is that it's going to change the way that we feel, but because it's not natural, because it's temporary, and unfortunately it comes with that crash, which so it's the high and then the low, that it's very confusing and our brain gets so confusing. So to be able to offer people to see, like, how would it be able to buzz like that, feel that love and peace naturally? That's what they're chasing. For me, the whole world's chasing a feeling, that's it. They're chasing one thing. They're chasing a good feeling. And if your brain has made a relationship between that good feeling and a drug, then it doesn't take long for that habitual pattern that the brain's telling us, oh yeah, you need that, you need that, you need that, you need that. And in the end, it's like we believe it, and it's really nice and refreshing when someone comes along and kind of is able, in very simple language, explain how thought creates our feelings, how we're only ever feeling thought in the moment. But it's not the easiest thing to share, and it's not the easiest thing to hear in the beginning.
No. It's not, but that's the thing. Like going back to that feeling of love, because I knew that moment, that joy and love that I felt in group when I seen someone's eyes, they light up when they sat there, been sat there and they're angry or going through whatever, and 10 seconds later, their eyes are sparkling and the smiles on their face, and it's just like that's real joy. Like that's real. So that's why I actually see that, and yeah, that's.
Did
I
you
want
get
to do this.
did you get excited then going, after you started doing these groups, like did you find yourself getting excited going back to learn more? I mean, was that
Oh, you don't know, do you? You don't know the half of it. Ask Jacqueline. I used
tell
to
us,
drive her mad. I used to drive her mad to get back on more groups.
did you?
Yeah. Oh, literally, used to preach to anyone and anyone that would listen to Beyond Recovery. Like the amount of people that have come through now, not because of me, but because of things that I said about the group and the way that they see just a change in me.
Yeah.
And obviously, that's the thing. We're all searching in life, like you just said, and we're all searching for the same thing. Exactly same, which equals happiness, contentment. Put what words you want on it. It's the same. Love, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah, an expression of love. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
it.
So that's the thing. And if you see that in someone else, of course it's going to make you curious at least, isn't it? And
Of course.
that's the thing. I used to just say, just throw away comments and just not know what I was saying, but I just knew that people had to look into it. If I couldn't say it and put into words, then like it was just they'd have to come in the group. But that's the thing. That's with about the conference. That's why the conference means so much to me. Because Jacqueline, my whole letter, how that come about, and the whole thing, like Jacqueline came to my door and she literally said, "Can she use my story for the conference?" And she'd already told us she was going to speak in front of it. So I said yes. Like, how could I say no? Then she asked me to write a life story. I can tell you had a bit of thinking about that.
I
It's
bet.
like I got like 2 hours or something, whatever it was, and like to write my life story, like where to start, where to stop. I just read. I didn't think about what I wrote, and it was just one of the things. So to me, I was so used to saying the same story, going through the whole thing. It was just, it was nothing. It was just kind of like when I talk about that negative stuff or whatever. But yeah, then a couple of weeks later, Jackson come back in, and I got a letter from someone from Gemma that was at the conference, and Jacqueline said about I got a standing ovation at 750 people there, and people were crying. I thought, oh, look at her, she's been really nice, isn't she? I bet it went down really bad. But no, but Jacqueline had just really nice. I just thought, oh, she's just been nice, topped it up a little bit. But that's my insecure thinking. Obviously, I didn't realise in terms of my insecure thinking at that time. But yeah, how because it's always been there.
Yeah.
So
And now,
that letter, but reading that letter, it was like she said most of the same stuff, and it was just she said when you're speaking from your heart, actually, when the person you're speaking to cannot, their heart cannot help but listen. But it's just I don't know, but it's just for me, it's just like something in my head clicked that hold on, some good can actually come from all this bad. And yeah, so I felt like I had a connection with the conference. So that's when I got there this year. And also, I built up so many stories in my head what it was going to be like, even to talk. Because obviously, there's so like 3 years in prison and my
yeah.
follow-up letters to Jacqueline, and yeah, so it was just
So it was because last year at the conference, Alfie spoke,
yeah.
and then your letter was read out. Is that right? Is that what
No, last year's one didn't
last
went missing from this. The year before,
year?
I read two got rid.
That's okay. Yeah. So we had because I remember Alfie from the
Yeah,
2018, and then you were 2019.
yeah,
Yeah. And then, but you've also been invited to the big international first ever Three Principles Addictions and Recovery Conference being held in Minneapolis on the 14th and 16th of May, and you have an invite to speak there.
yeah. Me and Jacqueline share a panel, and it's going back to what we started off talking about, the picture behind you, this
Yeah.
understanding, like we are limitless as people, like we really don't realise that until we get this understanding, and my life was just crime, drugs, women, insecurity. And to think of the things that have opened up to me to talk at the 3P conference, what an opportunity that is in front of 1,000 people, you know. And to meet Joe, well, I met Joe Bailey in prison when he come into,
Oh, did you? Great.
yeah, and he signed my book.
Oh.
That's the thing, like, I was at the 3P conference and there's all these people there, and like, I've read all their books. I'm starstruck, and they've got people coming up to me like, what do you want to talk to me for? Like, do you not realise who this is? It's like, yeah, no, but it's just one. But yeah, just I don't really think the impact that my story can have until we're saying that at that conference. I sat there and I listened to it like it wasn't me. Like I took a step back, and when I hear that now, I can just see the loss and the hurt and the pain in it, and all that, and insecure and ego. I was so insecure. My ego was violence. I was hurt, and I wanted everyone to hurt. So and that's why when they he said at the end, I was so caught up in the story, then I forgot I had to get up and talk. And they said, I stood out and I was walking, and it was like I had to walk the long way of the stage, and everyone was clapping. It was like, this is a bit nerve-wracking, because I literally didn't know what I was going to say. It's just, one of the things, and it's just the knock-on effects, and being asked to do even shows like doing this, and just the opportunities have come from this. Is just,
and that's being in service, isn't it? You know, if one person can watch this and says, well, okay, maybe I will have a listen to what this 3 principles is all about, or maybe I will watch some videos on the Beyond Recovery website, or, you know, I think people just feel, because I work in recovery and I work in addiction, and sometimes I work with the younger ones, and this stuff doesn't feel like it's cool, maybe, you know, it doesn't feel like it's like they get interested, but then it's like, you know, they don't quite maybe get curious enough until a little bit further down the line, you know. But the more it keeps cropping up, the more. I had a lovely message the other day from somebody from a little while ago, and she said, oh, I've just met people in recovery, they're all talking about the 3 principles. And I was like, yeah, good for them. And she would have had access to all the workshops and everything, but you know, at the time it wasn't her time. She wasn't ready to hear it. And she's the fact that we've sowing seeds, she might bump into someone like you, and it's funny, isn't it? And she's already had those seeds sown, and then she's ready, she's open for it, you know. So it's what you're doing. So what are you doing now, David? What are you up to now? You know, because you're not in prison now.
No, I've been paid to go back into prison. How's that?
I know. Back into work in the prison.
Yeah, it's just, that's what I mean. Like, literally, so I keep looking at that photo behind you. Like, literally, I'm open to life. Like, I notice sunsets. I've got like 12,000 photos on my phone in a year, 13,000 photos. Most of them, like, all sunsets and just whatever. Because my memory's still quite bad. So, yeah, and like technology, great. I Google everything. Funny enough, literally the other day, I'm jumping forward a little bit, but the other day I just give up work. No one knows yet. I'm not going to tell work, but I've not been there. I've been seeing, I met someone, and since I've been with her, a lot of my other, I don't say thinking, but I still felt like there's a little bit missing still. I was still searching to eat with this understanding. I didn't know it, but I guess I was. But since I've been here with her and been around her, it's just gone. I just feel at peace. I just feel connected, and just at ease now.
Yeah.
Everything. So basically, the other day I was sitting in the garden. And she's got 2 huskies, watching the dogs playing. I was in my head thinking, should I do it? Should I quit work? And obviously, just before Christmas and all sorts of stuff. So I've not told my family or anything yet, so I better tell him. But
you better tell him now, because it's going live on YouTube.
Yeah. So I thought, yes, I'm sure I shouldn't have said that. No, but no, it's one of those things. Yeah. No, but literally, I was looking up, and there was like a flock of doves. Like, no, I said, thingy, there's a flock of doves, flying up. And I thought, that sounds strange. I thought that must mean something. I googled it, and it comes up like if you Google white doves, it comes up with this really good thing about love, and it's really good. It's just a sign. So I weren't 100% with it. I didn't go to work yesterday. I was sitting in the garden, and I was like, give me a sec. And I we see him again on Sunday. I'll put it on the Beyond cover. We've got a family page, so I'll put it on there and everything up. And yeah, yesterday I was sitting in the garden. My girlfriend went to work. And I was like, I need this. Give me a sign that I'm doing it. Like I've done the right thing. I've looked up in the sky and like nothing. I was expecting to see the birds and sun and all that, but there was nothing. It's like, oh, I'm coming here, looked at my phone, and I got this from you.
Oh wow!
Literally, so that's my sign.
Oh, you can't make it up that's serendipity, right?
Then, funny enough, later on in the afternoon, my girlfriend came back for work. She's standing up, looking at the window, and the birds come back.
Oh,
That's
really?
like a white does. That's 3 days in a row. Missing on. I
Right.
Google the thing. Then, something out. I had some other news yesterday that I'm not sure we can talk about yet. But yeah, like literally, the opportunities that have been happening. It's just mind blowing. It really is. Like what I'm seeing in just life is just. That's the thing. They say like one insight changing. I've just had so many different insights, and it's just. I suppose a lot of them were still calm, like just all over the place. And I suppose a lot of it just kind of just sunk in. I just felt a little more at ease, I suppose, and at peace. So
So nice. You know, insights, and there's a Sydney Banks quote about it's through insights and beautiful feelings that people change. That's all it's really, it sounds like that's all it takes. That's kind of how it is. It's once we fall into that space, we do see our infinite potential. I mean, so you've got everything you need inside of you, and you know that to go out there and make it happen. We still can feel a bit like, oh.
see, that's one of the big things we taught, and that's one of the most best things. We're taught from the source, Sydney Banks. We're not taught from Jacqueline, Liliana. We're taught from, obviously they're talking, but they're talking from the source. So it's like it's not Sydney, but it's pure and it's simplicity, isn't it? In
Yeah,
all this understanding, it can still get a bit wordy, and it's just the answer to complexity lies in simplicity. Like most of my quotes, all for Sydney Banks, is just because I've just seen so much into it.
that's great.
And I was watching a video last week that I hadn't seen, and one of those last ones is like, I think then my insecure thinking kicks in. It's like, I'm copying what he's saying. And it's just because of my insights are in when he's talking, that my insights into the same things what I can relate to or whatever. So when I'm talking, not saying I'm like Sydney Banks, don't get me wrong.
But you are.
But you
But you are. You're no different. You're
no, we're
no.
all the same. But
We're
no,
all
no,
the same.
yeah. So I'm just seeing just the ease to life. I don't know.
It's
It's a bit,
great, isn't
but
it?
yeah, it's a bit.
Great.
It's a bit. Yeah, it is a bit. Yeah, it's not insecure. But yeah, it's just one of the things. It's just like it's all new, isn't it? And it's with this understanding. When I say I was reborn at like 35 years of age, you got to understand that my life was crime, negative thinking, drugs, all this. It was just insecure. It was just one of literal pain. It was just misery. Every day was misery. So it's like then to find out every belief I had, every story, every grudge, all this sort of stuff was all a lie. It was all made up by me. So it's like, hold on, I've got this understanding that I don't understand in prison where I had to be all these other things before. It was just so, it's new. So it's like I was reborn, but in prison it's a forced environment. I'm trying to be nice and friendly and just be real, but then you get people trying to take advantage of you, and it's just such a negative place to be. And it's just towards the end, it started, my old thinking pattern started kicking back in, and I've messed up. That's, I mean, it's not been easy. I've had many ups and downs,
Yeah.
but it's life, isn't it? It's just
And it's nice that you've had the experience of that. You know, for us to go into those sort of environments, I'm doing the iHeart training, David, bringing it to Spain. So going in, you know,
Alfie's done that, I think.
yeah, I saw that. Yeah, I'd love to have a chat with him about it actually. But when I, you know, when I see how we're you know, the curriculum that's been designed to share with the children, people like you that have been, you're like the naughty boy turned good boy. You know, it's like they respect that, because at that they're looking for, aren't they? They're looking for they've got their heroes at that age, you know. And for them
That,
to hear this message from you, as opposed to me, for example, and a bunch of young lads, is worth its weight in gold.
well, that's why it's so important. Not so important, sorry, but why it's really good in prisons that its peer mentors go back, because we speak the language. And
Exactly.
my life's been so varied. So and that's the thing, like when you're giving advice, really the advice is for yourself. That's such a big insight. One of the other facilitators had that, being in prison. But it's so true. It's because it's so easy to get caught up in life, isn't it? Or well, you think you can get caught up in life or whatever, but it's just, yeah, it's just in there. You make a lot of mistakes, but you learn, don't you? You start to gauge. Because I had nothing to compare it to, because
Yeah,
all these stories, all this past, it was gone. So
yeah.
I had to learn the hard way, and it's just some of the things that I've said to people, and it's innocently, because I didn't know. I just wanted the best, didn't I? So it's just, it was innocently. It's just, so yeah, it's just like I kind of cringe now. It's like, but that's how I learn. But
You
that's how.
learn. Yeah, yeah. And it is, when you're so passionate, when you've seen something to be true, why wouldn't you want the whole world to, you know, to be seeing that as well? That's just what it's, you know, when something tastes so good to us, smells so good to us, feels so good to us, we want everybody else to taste it in the same way. And you know, I think what you're doing is amazing, David. Go for it, right? You've got, like you say, you know, life works in mysterious ways. We're born into the mystery, we live in the mystery, and in the mystery we pass on. You know, you're here, just listen to your own. You're gonna smash it out there. You're gonna smash it out the ballpark, because you know,
Thank you.
you're a very special man. And I don't think that taking that kind of standing ovation isn't just because people, you know, because people want to be be doing be doing that. Not everybody gets that. And they, you know, for you to be up there and share just from your soul as you are, you don't need to be any different than what you are. And and neither does anybody else that we ever speak to. They don't need to be anything but who they are. And if they can hear that, then they can just be, right? Can just be. Yeah. So I hope you take lots more photos and you appreciate art, and you know, get.
Even that. Sorry. So one more thing. Last week I was with Paul Locke. You thought it might just sound about the art. Just mine. I was in the Lord Mayor's residence in London, Bank House. No, no, what's the Mansion House? Sorry, doing a presentation for Beyond Recovery. It's like
And
that's
you weren't robbing it.
no. It was like I had a tie on and everything. I don't even wear a tie to court. It's like all this fancy food that ain't for me. I'd rather get a burger on my own. But no, but what an opportunity. That's the thing that
No.
get about the conferences. That is an opportunity. But to be in the Mansion House in London, like photos on the wall. I took pictures of hearing no senses, like five senses, and they were from like I was having a random conversation with a man. I didn't really pay no attention, to be fair. And he said, "Oh, this is my favourite artist," and he was going right into this, saying about this artist and since 1644, saying about the senses. I didn't even notice them. It was like, it's like, let's start talking about thought, obviously. Thought is a sixth sense, because without thought, the other five senses are null and void. Oh, no, I get carried away, we get into it. But it is, it's the sixth sense, isn't it, thought?
Yeah. And you know, it's so true that it is our sixth sense. It's our intuition. It's what drives us, and that is what paints the picture. You know, we're all artists in that way. We're painting our own picture. We've got a blank canvas available to us every moment. So
Well, just look at me, that proves it, doesn't it?
that's
That just,
amazing. And have as many, yeah, that's great, as many experiences as you can, because we're all the same underneath. Whatever our titles are, what we've done, what we haven't done, that doesn't define who we are. Who we are is we're good. We're peace and love and well-being and resilience, and you know, and that's who we are at our true essence, is wisdom and common sense. And you live from that place. You can't go wrong, really, right? And we get to play with the other stuff now and again, but we don't
It's not
visit
fun.
it. We don't visit it for very long now. It don't,
No.
you know. So, David, I really look forward to. I'm also going to be at the conference in May in Minneapolis,
No.
and I don't know whether you're going to be there in person or whether you're going to be there.
Hopefully, but it's my past. Obviously, it's in my past to still come back to haunt me. But obviously, probation, everyone's okayed it. But will they let me in the country?
Yeah.
But that's the thing. It's what's meant to be will be, isn't it?
If you're meant to be there, if not, we'll Zoom you in or Skype you in. Or so.
Yeah, it's one of them things. Isn't it? I don't need to drive myself mad and this. And I'm thinking about it, but to be asked, that's enough.
Yeah, exactly. Isn't that amazing? Well, thank you so much. I appreciate your time today. You know, I'm looking forward to hearing more about what you're up to, and yeah, we'll speak soon. Yeah.
Right, thank you.
Lots of love
Bye.
to you.
Happy Christmas.
Merry Christmas to you.
Cheers.
Bye.